Good evening, one and all. I am VideoGameGirl64, and I've prepared another Metronome battle for you all. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, once again, it's my character versus the CPU I named Jonathan. And I got Hoppip and Staryu, he's got Meryl and Skip Plume. So, Staryu starts off, and is using Lock-On Skip Plume. Skip Plume uses Psybeam on Staryu, and then I'm wishing, why don't you Water Psychic? And then right off the bat, Hoppip just decides to commit suicide to lower Meryl's attack and special attack, which is not. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? So right away, I'm on my third Pokemon already. And he uses Water Gun on Staryu and does -1 health, cause I'm water. And then I use Charm on Meryl, and it's leave Meryl alone. It's not even that strong. And then this Beast Loom over here is using Psycho Boost on my Staryu. It does decent damage, but I'm still alive, and its special attack falls. And I'm like, how many stat drops are you guys gonna get? And it's just the beginning of the match, too. And it's using aromatherapy, and I'm like, no, I see flowers. I don't want more flowers. You know what happened with the flowers last time? So it's using acid armor, and it's their stats keep falling and raising. I feel like I'm looking at the stock market right now or something. And so Staryu uses Rest, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty decent. I'll be in for a little bit longer, although I have to sleep for 2 turns. It's worth the sacrifice. And then Beast Loom over here has to use Tri Attack on my Staryu. Oh, and guess what? It gets better. It gets the crit. Yeah. And Aggron is going to use Extreme Speed on Meryl, even though it just sharply raised its defense. So, it's gonna do quarter, almost quarter, I don't know what that is, you decide for yourself. Meryl uses Iron Tail, it wasn't gonna do much damage on either Pokemon, so it didn't even matter. And, let's see what it's gonna do. It's gonna use Water Gun on my Aggron, but since special attack is sharply lowered, it didn't do that much damage, so that's very nice. Now use Return on Meryl. And it does -1 HP, because I just caught this Aggron. It hates me. And it uses Hypnosis on Staryu, hello? It's sleeping. That's not going to work. It's using Spark, and it uses it on Aggron. I was thinking, please not Staryu, please not Staryu. Didn't get Staryu, so that was really awesome for me. I used Focus Energy, so, hopefully it's helpful later. I forgot how to talk. And it misses with Thunder. Thank the Lord, I don't want to aim for the horn or anything. I use Sweet Kiss, but I miss. And, Confusion could have been pretty nice right about now. And then it commits suicide. And I'm like, what's the Hoppip family killing themselves? I'm so confused. And, Meryl's almost down, lives with -1 HP. Staryu's out of there. And I'm like, why would you do that? So I send out, my Ho-Oh over here, he's a beast and all, and he sends out his Blastoise. So, Aggron uses Flamethrower, and I'm like, why would you do that? They're both water types. But I get the crit, I guess. That helped, or not. And it kills Meryl, and it sends out Lugia, and it's oh shoot. Ho-Oh and Lugia aren't gonna like each other. So here's this Rapid Spin. And it's that does, I swear that gave me more health. Did, so little damage. And I used Tickle on Blastoise, and I'm like, good. Lower the attack. And the defense. And Blastoise over here, he's using Hyper Voice, so I'm at least I lowered his attack a bit. I swear, Aggron, he gave Aggron some more HP, because, that did almost nothing. And he's using Snore, and it's you're awake. Why would you do that? I don't understand. And somehow Lugia starts using Fury Attack. That's something Ho-Oh would use, and it's basically giving Aggron HP because it's doing so little amount of damage. It's like almost nothing. And it's using Psycho, like Ho-Oh using Psycho Boost. And it's like, I think I've seen this attack in this match before. You want to keep the material new, you know, as long as you don't kill yourself or anything. So Blastoise goes to half health, and then, oh, my special attack sharply fell. That's no good. It's using Minimize, and I'm like, no, don't be an evasion whore. I don't like evasion whores. And Aggron uses Fire Punch, but that's special in this game, so it doesn't do that much. I was hoping for the burn, but I didn't get it. And Lugia's using Double Edge on my Ho-Oh, and like, that does pretty decent damage. It takes some recoil also, so whatever. Double-edged sword there. And Ho-Oh's using Curse, and I'm like, oh yes, attack up, defense up. Let's do something. Let's kill someone. Or make someone faint. And then it explodes! And it kills itself! And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, it does massive damage to Lugia, does almost nothing to Aggron, does decent damage to Ho-Oh, Blastoise is out of there, and I'm like, what's with all the suicides? Why would you do that? And Aggron uses Crunch not on Lugia, on Poliwrath. Because that makes sense, right? You know, there's a Psychic type and a Fighting type. Let's use a Dark type attack on the Fighting type. And Lugia uses Waterfall on my Aggron, and I'm like, no, there's no way she's gonna survive. So Aggron's just out of the question. She's out of there. So I take out my Scyther, because I love Scyther. And this Poliwrath over here is using Encore, and I'm like, Encore does not work. We all have one attack. So Ho uses Poison Tail, you know, just to slap some sense in this Poliwrath. Doesn't do as much as I wanted it to do, but I don't expect much from Poison Tail. And Lugia's using Agility, even though, like, it's already the fastest one here. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it. Instead of using Conversion, I'm like, you're not a Porygon. Why would you do that? And Poliwrath tries to use Bone Meringue, or whatever it's called, and both my Pokemon are flying types, so that's awesome. Ho's using Sharpen, and I'm like, yes, praise the Lord, raise your attack, let's kill something in this bitch, let's do it. And Lugia uses Metal Claw on my Scyther, like, are those wings hands? Like, does it have hands or wings? Or is it like a mix? I don't get it. And I use Headbutt, and it's like, it's still alive. And Poliwrath uses Needle Arm on Ho-Oh, which does like -1 damage. Yeah. And then Ho-Oh uses Sleep Powder, but it missed. And I'm like, come on, that could have really helped if you actually decided to hit with that. Then Lugia's using Twin Needle on my Scyther, and it doesn't do that much. But, you know, of course, Poison! Lugia gets the poison off, just like I couldn't get the poison off last time. And so I'm using Flamethrower, not on Lugia, on Poliwrath, because that makes sense, right? And I couldn't even get the burn off, so, you know, that's really upsetting. And this thing over here, it starts to glow, and I'm like, you shouldn't be able to glow. And Ho uses Blaze Kick, but it misses! Like, how many times are my Pokemon going to miss before they do something helpful? And then Lugia uses Thunder on my Ho-Oh, which is super effective, so no chance for Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh is just out of the match, and I'm really upset because he was my strongest Pokemon. And I send out my Yanma, and I'm like, I have a really bad feeling about this. Something good is not going to come out for this Yanma. And Scyther uses Psychic on Poliwrath, which is decent, except for the fact that his special attack sucks. So Poliwrath is still alive. Even though it gets a special defense drop, it's not even going to matter that much. He uses Sky Attack on Yanma, and I'm like, how does, like, a fighting tadpole use Sky Attack? And Yanma just, nope, you're dead. You got barely any screen time. You're just hated for this match. No, nothing for you. Nothing. And Lugia uses Mist, and I'm like, hey, it's obvious I'm going to lose at this point, so do you want to, like, kill me and end my misery earlier? And I get Psycho Boost for the third time this match, and I'm screaming, Scyther! New content, please! And my special attack sharply folds, like it's gonna matter, because this battle's gonna end soon anyways. And so we finally get to see the last Pokemon, which is Ledian. And I love Ledian. I honestly do. I love any bug type. Bug types are just amazing. And Lugia uses Wrap, and I'm like, hurry up and kill me. You're so mean to me. I try to use Mud Shot, even though they're both flying types, so that's not gonna work at all. And Ledian uses Double Team. I'm like, stop being an evasion whore. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to kill me, because I'm not gonna be able to win this match anyways. Take me out of my misery. And then Lugia uses Rolling Kick, and that does like -1 damage, because like, I'm bug and flying, and I flinch too, like, pour salt in my wound, and then start using Beat Up, so Ledian and Lugia start pummeling me, and that still doesn't kill me, so I have to rely on Poison to send me out of this match, and then I lost against Jonathan. I had to pay him 800 yen. That's pretty sad. That was a mouthful. Thank you for attending this Metronome battle. This has been VideoGameGirl64. I am over and out. Hey, don't go away yet. Remember, I still have an account on my own, so go check that out. VideoGameGirl64. That's me. Bye, guys.